Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. We're thrilled that you're joining us today to learn more about the hospitality industry from our special guest, Jim Grant. We will be introducing Mr. Grant in just a minute. First, though, we have several people from Special School District joining us, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves. Ms. Bengali?
Hi, I'm Heidi Bengali, and I am the Technology Specialist Instructor for North and South Technical High Schools.
Ms. Manis?
Good afternoon, I'm Melissa Manis. I'm the Culinary Arts Instructor at South Tech High School. If I have any South Tech students on, if you want to drop your name in the chat for extra credit, just leave your name in the chat, please.
Okay, Mr. Palladino?
Good afternoon, Mr. Palladino. I am the Hospitality Business and Entrepreneurship Instructor at North Technical High School.
And Mr. Chandler?
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Chandler. I'm a career counselor at South Technical High School.
And I am Sally Defani, Administrator of Partnerships for Special School District. We will be continuing our Tech Tuesday sessions through the end of the semester, so please check out the schedule and plan to join us in the coming weeks. The schedule and the links to our previously recorded sessions can be found on the North and South Tech websites. Okay, Mr. Palladino, if you would be so kind as to introduce Mr. Grant.
Absolutely. As Sally said, I have the pleasure of introducing Jim Grant. I have known Jim for the last couple of years. He is currently the Human Resources Director at the Sheraton Westport Plaza, the Sheraton Lakeside Chalet, and the Doubletree St. Louis at Westport. And those are all properties managed by Lodging Management Hospitality Group. So as I said, I've known Jim for a couple of years now as we were able to get him on our North and South Tech Hospitality and Culinary Advisory Boards. And he has been serving the last couple of years and just doing a phenomenal job for us, and has opened his hotels for many opportunities that students have really been able to use to be able to gain some real world hands-on experience in the hospitality industry. And just a couple examples that we've been able to do is he's, like I said, opened up the hotels and had students spend multiple days at the various hotels and just allowed students to sit in on executive meetings, shadow front and back of the house employees, and just being able to tour facilities, which just gives those students that opportunity to really see what goes on in a hotel and how massive they are. So with that being said, we'd like to first thank Jim for all of his support over the last couple of years, and it's my honor to welcome Jim Grant.
Okay. As Mr. Grant is presenting, this is a reminder for the students who are joining us. Please type any questions you have into the chat feature, and we will answer your questions at the end of this presentation. Okay, I think we're just about ready to get started. Mr. Grant, would you like to share your screen?
Yes. All right, how's that?
Very
We
good.
good?
Yeah, great.
Well, hello everybody, and thank you for having me today. I'm honored to be here. I've enjoyed my partnership with North and South County Tech. I want to talk to you a little bit about the hospitality industry, and I guess more specifically about LHM, the company that I work for. You may have heard of us. We own 19 hotels in St. Louis, and starting to branch out a little bit more into property management as well as restaurant management. So we've got a few freestanding restaurants in addition to all the food and beverage we do at the hotels. I've got a little slideshow I want to show everybody and talk a little bit about our industry and our company. You know, opportunities in the hotel business. Some of you are probably familiar with most of these, but the front office, of course, the front desk people are the people that you see when you arrive or depart the hotel. The housekeeping is what we call the heart of the hotel, and they've got a real challenging job. They earn their money. We've got food and beverage service in restaurants and bars and in banquets. We do a lot of banquets at our hotels, and that's an interesting industry that not everyone is familiar with. We also have maintenance at the hotels, of course, and I know that, or I think Tech does a pretty good maintenance program too, where we've got career opportunities in HVAC and carpentry and plumbing and those things. There's accounting at the hotel and finance. Human resources, that's me. We've got human resources, of course, at the hotel. There are salespeople, sales managers, directors of sales, regional people in sales, and then admin folks. Revenue is kind of a newer part of hotels now. Traditionally, it was always called reservations, but now it's called revenue, and they're responsible for establishing pricing and ensuring that we're priced at the appropriate level. And then, of course, culinary. We've got a big culinary operation in a lot of the hotels and, of course, at the restaurants. In addition to hotel careers within the hospitality industry, there's a number of other opportunities: airlines, casinos, cruise ships, or tour guides, attractions, exhibits, and concerts. This is something that we're getting into a little bit more now, as the attractions. And you'll notice in St. Louis in the next couple of years, the whole downtown corridor, especially with the soccer stadium, is going to open up, and we're a big piece of that right now. The sport venues, like I was talking about, travel managers, and of course, wedding coordinators. Now, you're probably aware of something called COVID out there right now, and that has had a dramatic impact on our industry. And some of the places are quite frankly, really suffering right now. I truly believe we will come back, and you may be positioned well, timing-wise, for this, because many of us have had to furlough or lay off a lot of people, but I think around the corner, a few months, 6 months, something like that, we're going to need to hire a lot of people back because we've had to displace so many. And as business returns, which I'm confident that it will, we're going to need to bring on a lot of people. So now is a good time to be in school for some of these careers, I think. Speaking of careers, some of the ones that have been trending, celebrity chefs you see, and Melissa, you probably know these folks, I hope. Most people probably know these folks. Life is not always like this in the real world. When you're in a kitchen, you're not always Gordon Ramsay or Guy Fieri, but I think this has brought a lot of attention to our industry, which is nice, and I think it's brought a lot of interest to the industry, and it's made people realize that this is a professional career, and it's highly in demand, and executive chefs at our properties are very well compensated, and it is a good career choice, I think. Wedding planners, this is a popular career right now as well, and it takes a lot of work, but it is very rewarding when you make someone's special day. You have one chance to make a wedding go great, and when that happens, everyone is just so happy and so joyful that it really is a rewarding kind of career, and it's financially rewarding as well. And then sales. Everybody wants to be in sales. In the hotel business, and Chris probably knows this, that people start in operations and oftentimes they're ready to go to sales at some point. And sales is a good career opportunity. There's opportunity to make a lot of money in sales, and the hours are a little more regular. But I'll tell you what, you really have to be a type A personality, because there's a lot of pressure on sales managers to produce, every month produce. So if that's you, and if you're kind of self-motivated and driven, and you like the pressure, it's a rewarding career. A little bit about LHM. Bob O'Loughlin was our founder, started back in 1986. First hotel I had was a Holiday Inn down at the riverfront. In the last 9 years, we've added 11 new properties. I've been with this company 23 years. I've seen a lot of things change. When I started, we only had a few properties, and we've added quite a few. We've got 18, 19 now, actually. We recently opened the St. Louis Aquarium and the wheel down at Union Station, and the other attractions down there. There's like putt-putt golf, there's a ropes course, there's a carousel, there's all kind of things down there. If you haven't been down there lately, I would really recommend going. It's a different world down there now. And then, of course, we're known for dedication to guests, both our internal customers, which is all of us, the employees, and then the external, of course. Here's a few of our properties. I didn't put them all up there, but some of the bigger ones: the Hilton at the Ballpark, the Union Station Hotel, the Sheratons, of course. As Chris mentioned earlier, I'm a regional director out in the county. I've got the hotels at Westport, the 2 Sheratons, and the DoubleTree. I also oversee human resources for Westport Social, which is man, just a busy food and beverage operation. Pre-COVID, it was not unusual to do $50,000 on a Saturday night in that bar and restaurant, which is a pretty good night. And then I also have the places at Cheshire. There's the Basso and a couple restaurants over there as well. Getting into our properties just a little bit individually. St. Louis Ballpark is our biggest hotel rooms-wise, with 680 rooms. On the top of that is a place called 360. Some of you may have been there. It's an award-winning rooftop bar and restaurant. And if you look at the bottom left picture in the little collage there on the screen, you can see that this is probably one of the only places in St. Louis where you were able to see live baseball this year. So people would sit up there and watch the baseball game and see a live game, which is unfortunately unusual for that to be the only place to see a baseball game. But it was kind of nice. Sheraton's, this is my kind of home away from home. Spent a lot of time here in the last 23 years. That's the Sheraton Chalet you see on the other side of the lake, and then the plaza kind of in the background there. Union Station is one of our newer properties, or newer to me. Big hotel, a lot of meeting space. You'll hear Mr. O'Loughlin talk about that in a minute. I've got a little video clip I want to play. Busy hotel, a lot of meeting space, a lot going on down there. Some of the attractions are down there, the aquarium, the wheel there, and those are both, we're doing great pre-COVID, and we're still doing pretty good, all things considered. Some of the other restaurants we've got, that soda fountain is down there at Union Station. This was the old Hard Rock Cafe. The soda fountain is a kind of a twist on a diner in that it's got the milkshakes and the burgers and fries and stuff, but a little more upscale than your typical diner. They've got what they call freak shakes, and these are monster shakes. They're huge, and you can even get shakes with alcohol, not the students, but other customers. And then the train shed down at Union Station is a little nicer restaurant than the soda fountain. Both of those were just rocking pre-COVID, and we anticipate that coming back as well. Our founder, Bob O'Loughlin, you heard me mention him before. If you've watched TV in St. Louis in the last couple of years, you've seen this guy's face on TV. He's on there a lot. He's on the news. He does commercials for St. Louis. He's really involved with the CVC and attracting people to this region. And for good reason. He owns 19 hotels here. And like I said, with the soccer stadium coming in that whole corridor, we've got a few operations within that corridor. And he's going to talk just a little bit about Union Station in this little video I'm going to show here.
Well, Union Station is so unique, it's iconic. It was built in 1894, the largest train station in the world, and I bought it about 6 years ago. This is something that's in every one of the people in St. Louis, their heart. They're rooting for it. In fact, the local St. Louis magazine wrote an article, Can We Save Union Station? And so we put a lot of effort into it. We have 150,000 square feet of meeting space and exhibit hall, and then we had 120,000 square feet left. And we said, what will we do with it? Why don't we convert it into an aquarium? We felt that would be a perfect fit. Every time you do a project, you buy a hotel, you do have this angst. You don't know where it's going to go, what you're going to do, and then when you have the aha moment that I think I hit on something that's pretty good, it is, I can't tell you the exhilarating feeling behind it. Project this size, you can see the immensity of it. Without the help of a banker that knows your projects and has faith in what you do, none of these projects could be successful. Enterprise is very integral to bring a successful hotel or project together. In fact, every part of this whole renovation are with local companies. We like to keep the money in St. Louis. We like to work with St. Louis people, and Enterprise was started here. Not like to go into a place and look at it and say, how can we make this unique? How can we make it where local people would like and people from out of town? So we've got a creative mind to it, not just do the cookie cutter, but make something very unique and exciting that people will come in and really enjoy.
So I showed that video for a couple of reasons. One, so you could see Mr. O'Loughlin a little bit, and two, because of the him talking about the local flair. And this is a local company, and it's a family-run company, and we try our best to hire people from St. Louis, and like he said, keep the money in St. Louis. Steve O'Loughlin is the president of LHM, a personal friend of mine. He's standing next to the Stanley Cup there. That was at Westport Social. I had my picture taken there right after him. That was a great day. Steve, I'm going to show a little video with Steve as well. Steve went to high school here in St. Louis, and I think this is a nice video to show for everyone because it touches on the importance of education at the high school level and how it really helped his foundation for what he's doing now.
Melville really set me up for my college education and eventually my professional career. One thing that I look back on that really helped me out, I think, if kind of going way back, is I was president of our class, and when you start out your career, you're starting out at a lower level, and you wonder how you can get to the next level and the next level, and you use that as a point of reference. And fortunately for me, I had that opportunity at Melville, and it was a great experience.
Very smart, outgoing, kind of in all of our friend groups. We were super involved in high school and just did everything that was here to do.
Graduated from UMSL, and I worked all through school. I knew I wanted to go into hotels. My dad was in the hotel business. My first job out of school, I worked with Hilton in Detroit, and I wanted to come back to St. Louis. So I took a job with Marriott for 7 years, and I worked as a housekeeping manager, a sales manager, front desk manager. And then in 1997, I joined my dad's company. At the time, we probably had less than 500 employees. And then we grew the company from there. So today we're about 3,500 employees, about $350 million in sales. We have 18 hotels. Our biggest hotels are St. Louis Union Station right here, Hilton Ballpark right down the street. Cheshire is kind of a nostalgic one, a favorite one for me. And our big project right now is the St. Louis Aquarium.
I think it's nice when someone that was raised here with all of us has made such a name for himself, working with his dad and the company that they've built and the things that they're doing for St. Louis with purchasing properties like Union Station and really reviving the city or helping to revive the city. I think that's really awesome to say that, hey, I knew him and he really came from this place.
When we do projects are big, they're well known, and they're all in St. Louis. And so, as a family, my dad and I built this company up, but all these fun projects have been built right in St. Louis to help grow our community and make St. Louis a better place.
So Steve forgot to mention me when he talked about building this company. He said him and his dad. He meant to say him and his dad and Jim Grant, but I talked to him about that. Chef Russell is another person you might have seen on TV. He's the chef at Union Station downtown. And this presentation seems like it's a lot about Union Station. That's only because there's a lot of focus on that right now with some of the new things down there. Chef Russell oversees the culinary aspect of a big food and beverage operation. They do about $16 million a year down there, which is a pretty tidy sum. He's been on TV a lot, and this is him a couple years ago. Our hotels are really involved with the community and raising money for different charitable organizations. I'm going to show this with Chef Russell and on one of the local news channels.
We have Executive Chef Russell Cunningham from the Union Station Hotel, and as you can see, real men wear pink. Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on at Union Station and the other restaurants under your ownership group?
Sure. So as part of Lodging Hospitality Management Union Station Hotel, we've teamed up with the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. And they've got a campaign called Real Men Wear Pink. They've got about 42 candidates that have been raising money all month for breast cancer awareness. And as part of that group, in total, that campaign has raised over $42,000.
Wow.
And then as a hotel and as Lodging Hospitality Management, we've raised on top of that another total of $5,500, which our company has agreed to match. So that's another $11,000 for the campaign.
That's amazing. And I can definitely see why you would be so successful with some of these treats here. Can you tell us what you have on the table?
Yeah, so what we've been doing as part of our fundraising, we're doing everything from bake sales, which is some of the stuff that you see here. So this is all our employees have gotten together and they're bringing in baked goods. So we've got another one going on this Friday that all of the associates bring in baked goods, and then we switch and buy and raise money for breast cancer.
Have you ever tasted something from an associate who's not in the food service and been like, wow, this is pretty good? I'm a little concerned.
Switch departments.
Right.
Yeah, there have been. We've got a very high Bosnian population in town. So great baklava and meringues and everything. And that's one of my weaknesses.
I know.
So yeah, every time I see that, I'm like, yeah, have you ever thought about coming and baking for us?
Come on over. We have great benefits here. Tell us also about the Power of Pink.
Yeah, so with the company, we're doing what we call the Power of Pink campaign. So, and you can see some of the displays on here.
Yeah.
So every week, our human resources team sends out kind of informative breast cancer awareness information. And then every Wednesday, for any donation that the employees want to do, they're allowed to wear pink as part of their uniform. And then we've got everything from wristbands and the little pink ribbons, or they can get creative. I've got my own chef coat with the Real Men Wear Pink logo.
That is serious. That is a serious pink. It's not just pink. It is a serious pink. Now, you definitely know that this real man wears pink. I also hear that a mammogram ban comes for employees occasionally. I mean, just as somebody with friends. You have female friends, you have female coworkers.
Yeah.
Does that bring you any peace of mind?
It does. These days, I don't know any friends of mine that haven't been affected in some way by any form of cancer. So it's really great, especially with the company, that they're involved in this as well and do stuff like the free mammogram ban and stuff like that.
You know what? I wish I had a video.
I'm going to stop that there. So you got a little flavor of that. No pun intended with the chef, but so talk a little bit more about paths that are available through the company. And I want to talk about some individuals that work with me at the hotels, and Fari is one of them. Fari started as a banquet setup attendant and was there just a short time, and then moved to a banquet captain, a year and a half there, and then he was a banquet manager, then he was a restaurant manager, he was director of outlets, and now he's our food and beverage director in a really good spot. Gina started as a front desk agent. Well, then she was a front desk supervisor, a front desk manager for a couple of years, a director of revenue, and now she's a regional director of revenue with the company, and she's over quite a few hotels. Cameron is a stylish dresser, you can tell. He was front desk agent for a few months, been a supervisor for 6 months, an assistant front office manager, and then a front office manager. I've been with the company a long time. This guy was the guy that was in every position for the shortest amount of time possible before he was promoted to. You have to be a line level associate for 3 months before you're eligible to be a supervisor. He was like a desk agent for 3 months and a day, and then he was a supervisor. You got to be a supervisor at least 6 months before you can transfer. He was a supervisor like 6 months and a week, and then he was promoted. He's one of those guys that has just moved up very nicely. He's dedicated. He's got a great sense of hospitality, and just a real nice guy. That's Wes. He took a little different path and went to college for hospitality, and came out of college, and he did some internships with us when he was in college. And by the way, I would highly recommend doing internships when you're in college. and getting your feet kind of in the water a little bit, seeing if what you really like in the industry. He did a couple internships, and we hired him as a manager in training after graduation. And then about a year later, he was a department head, a front office manager. Mashika was a room attendant for a while, and then a housekeeping inspect, a housekeeping supervisor, then a housekeeping manager. So she's been with us a long time. I hired her, gosh, I don't remember, but she's been around probably close to 20 years. Then a little bit about our culture. I'm the guy in the middle picture, the good-looking guy on the far right on that green shirt. That's me. The pedal the cause is on the left. That's something we've done 6 years now. And as a company, we've raised almost $100,000 within our company alone that goes to Siteman Cancer Center. And this is something that's really important to us. And there's a lot of us that are bike riders, and we ride together. And if you haven't heard of Pedal the Cause, it's a great organization. Then the top middle picture, we have partnered with the local orphanage, and we go out there throughout the year, and we prepare and serve dinner for the kids, and it's a nice little getaway. The top right, that's Chris Long and I standing next to each other. And Chris Long's got a foundation that we support, and we were involved with H2O for Africa, it's called, and it was we raised money to help them dig freshwater wells in Africa. Then the bottom right is the walk we do. You heard Chef Russell talking about this a little bit, where we walk for the cancer walks. But LHM is really involved with the community. And you may have noticed Russell say this, that the company matched the amount of money we were able to raise. So we did bake sales, we raised money for cancer, and even with the Pedal the Cause, the company contributes a whole lot of money towards that. So they certainly give back. A couple awards real quick, and I think we're maybe getting a little short on time, but the Union Station won what's called the Connie Award, which is the highest award that a Hilton hotel can receive. There's only one given out each year, and it kind of combines revenue, guest satisfaction, and condition of product. So 3 very important measures, and they won that a couple years ago. The DoubleTree that I'm involved with, we won what's called the Crystal Cookie, which is the highest award you can win at a DoubleTree, and that is for community relations. And some of the things we did for the community, raising money, and we go out and rake leaves and just do all kind of different stuff. So if you're interested in doing something, getting involved with the community, this is a great company to be with, and we can help facilitate that. And then I think I mentioned this before, but 360 won one of the top 15 rooftop bars and restaurants in the country. So what's new in hospitality? Technology, as you could probably imagine, is really coming to play. Apps in particular are particularly important. Digital check-in, if you haven't heard of this, it's been around for a year or two now, but it's a great idea. I went on vacation this year. I used it myself. You can log in on your phone if you have the app. You can pick your room. You don't have to stop at the front desk. You can use your phone as your key. You can get in and out of your room with the phone. You pay your bill on your phone. You never even have to stop at the front desk if you don't want to. This GXP is something within Marriott and Sheraton that you can use to interact with hotel employees or management. If anything you need, if you want to order room service, if you need an extra towel, you want somebody to come up and fix the air conditioner, whatever you need, you can just text it through the app or enter it in the app, and you don't have to call anybody or anything. And it's a real-time kind of measure, and you get tells you instantly when someone will be there. Kipsu is almost the same thing with Hilton. There are virtual communities now within TripAdvisor, and hotels really live and die by what is out there on social media, because people are posting good and bad about hotels, and so many people look at that. It's critically important for sales that we maintain a presence and a positive presence in the virtual communities. So where do you go from here? Maybe a part-time job, a summer internship. I mentioned both of those. I think that's a good way to get your feet wet in the industry and see if it's for you. You may be thinking, how do I advance in hospitality? It all starts with being a great communicator. Be aware of your body language and the message that your body language sends. There's your tone of voice. There have been some studies saying that your body language accounts for 55% of the message that you're sending. So if you are rolling your eyes, or if you are, you got your arms folded like this, you're sending a message. Be reliable. You got to show up and take care of the business that you've been asked to take care of, and put forth that reasonable effort. That's what we're looking for. I think anyone can succeed in this industry. I mean, I've been in the same company for 23 years. If I can do it, you can do it. And I've seen a lot of people come in and they weren't sure if they wanted to do this, but then they just kind of sunk in, and it got in their heart, and they would never do anything else. And they've been very successful. So I hope you guys have some interest in this, and maybe give it a shot. That's all.
Okay. A lot of great information. The hospitality industry is so broad. There are so many different opportunities. I don't see that we have any questions in the chat right now, but I'm wondering if anyone on our panel might have a question or two for Mr. Grant.
Yeah, Jim, thank you again so much for presenting. This has been phenomenal. Question I have for you, and maybe talk to you a little bit about the students, as you talked about, of course, how to advance and get in the industry. But I experienced this in the hospitality industry. But just what type of, for those that maybe want to kind of get out and see the world, what kind of opportunities does employment in the hospitality industry give for students? Maybe be able to travel alongside employment.
Oh yeah, well, so the travel benefit is great, and especially at a full service property like a Hilton or a Marriott. The employee rate, it's unbelievable. I mentioned I went on vacation this summer. We stayed at a Hilton resort right on the beach. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. $45 a night. I mean, you can't beat that. Now, if you're talking about travel in as far as moving around, and maybe living in Chicago, or maybe living in New York, or a big city, something like that, that's easily done as well. I mean, there's hotels everywhere, of course. And if you're working at a franchise hotel, we're franchises of Hilton and Marriott and Sheraton, but we use the same operating systems. And if you work at our hotel at the front desk, it's the same system you would use at the front desk in New York or anything like that. So you're absolutely preparing yourself to move around. And before I started with this company, I was with a corporate Marriott hotel. I mean, people used to move every 18 months. You almost had to move up with a corporate property like that.
Jim, you gave some really great examples of the employees who have advanced within your company. For our high school students who are paying attention, you said that there were some part-time opportunities available. For those who are interested, what types of jobs would they be able to apply for with your company?
Yeah, so there's a few things. Food and beverage is always a good spot. That's where I was working in high school. You have bussers, you have cooks, you have dishwashers, you have those kind of positions. Servers do have to be 18 because they do serve alcohol. Banquets is another opportunity. You can be a banquet server and not be 18 because you're not always serving alcohol. And if there is alcohol service, someone else can do it in a banquet setting. But there's banquet setup, which is a little more manual labor, or there's banquet service. The front desk, you need to be 18 to work there, but I think some high school students are probably 18. And those are all good part-time spots. I'll tell you, one of the best spots but it's past now, but every summer we have a pool attendant at our outdoor pool at the chalet. That is a coveted spot because you're in polo shirt and khaki shorts, making money and sitting out there in the sun and listening to music. So you pick up a towel now and then, of course, and you help people a little bit, but that's a pretty good spot for a summer job.
What other questions might our group have?
So maybe not a question per se, but just I really appreciate the fact that a lot of my students, when they talk about what they're looking for in a job or a career, they talk about the culture. And so it seems like LHM does a really good job of creating a culture that somebody would want to work for. In fact, I was going to see if maybe I could throw my application in because it sounds like it's a good company to work for. So, but one of the things for my students that are listening, and then, just in general students, that you always want to think about the culture and the group of people you're going to be working with and the company that you're going to be working for. And it sounds like that they're very strongly rooted in St. Louis, and then they have a good culture for you to participate and kind of give back to the community in. So I thought that was pretty neat. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not me just saying it. It really is true. And I think, personally, I think culture starts at the top. And if you look at Steve O'Loughlin, he's a friend of mine, but I'll tell you, he mentioned there was 3,500 employees. I bet you he knows 2,500 of them by name. It's unbelievable. He'll walk through the hotel and say, "Hey, Jimmy, hey, Steve, hey," and high-fiving people, talking to them. And people, like new employees at the lower levels of the organization, feel like they know Steve, because he'll come by and he knows their name. He'll shake hands with them. He'll stop and talk to you for 30 seconds or whatever, not a long time, but how's the family? What's going on? What do you do this weekend? Just whatever. And I think that's where the culture starts. And he is upbeat and high energy and just has a good time. And I think that's part of it. If the managers and the leaders are having a good time and allowing employees to have a little fun while doing their work, we all got to work. But if you're having a little fun while you're working, it's something you enjoy.
Okay, anything else from our panel? Okay, well, Jim, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the session. We can't thank you enough for joining us today. Your presentation was outstanding and really gave our students a lot to think about. And I want to thank our panel and any students who were joining us today. Okay,
All right,
thank you all
everybody.
very much.